Welcome to Allie's Attic Show, where you never know what kind of surprise you're going to find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is an American singer-songwriter out of Atlanta, Georgia. Please say hello to Antonio Long. Hello!
Hey Ellie, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm doing
Awesome.
really.
Now, I found you on Instagram and fell in love with your music and pretty much begged you to come on the show, so thank you for coming on.
It's a pleasure to be on here. Thank you so much again for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Now, obviously, I know a lot about you. And you were born in Baltimore, Maryland, and raised in Prince George's County, Maryland. See, I'm not from the States, I'm from Canada. So, how old were, tell me your journey, Antonio. Like, when did this all start for you?
Well, I was raised in Prince George's County, Maryland, where I went to high school, and so in high school is where I started to sing. I was in the choir. I was in the gospel choir. We had a concert choir. We did classical music. We did all types of music. And so, I've always been into or interested in the arts, even as a child. I didn't tap into any musical gifts as a child, but I was always very attracted to anything dealing with art, whether it was dance, or performing arts rather, whether it was dance, drums. I used to beat on the drums, beat on boxes and pots and pans and tables, whatever I could find. And my dad, he bought me a drum set, a play drum set, and that it was all downhill from there. I used to dance all the time. I just loved listening to music. But when I got in high school, I discovered that I had an ability to sing, not sing solo, but just sing in the choir and stuff. And so I really excelled in that area. We learned to read music, and I got some vocal training. I was a leader, and then by the time I got to college, I wanted to teach music, so I majored. I went to Morgan State University in Baltimore, Maryland, and I was majoring in voice there, but my desire was to teach music. I didn't know I wanted to be an artist, and so shortly after that, I got involved into church. I didn't grow up in church. A lot of singers and a lot of people come from church.
Mm-hmm.
So and that was a whole new world for me. I did go to church a little as a kid, but I didn't really grow up in church. I didn't grow up around singers. So when I got involved in church as a young adult, that really, I think that really changed. That really opened the door for me. I started writing songs. I became a gospel artist, and from there, it's just the journey has been amazing. And so that started around 10 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, me really becoming an artist. I released my first song as an artist. It's called Lord I Yield. I released that in 2011. That was my first song that I got put on iTunes and everything. And really, I didn't have a desire to be an artist. I discovered that I could write. I didn't think that I could sing that good. I didn't think that I, really had an ability to really, be an artist. But I knew that I could, I had some musical talent. I knew that I had a musical ear. And then, developing my writing really was my desire, and writing for other people. So before I even released the single, what I did was I went in the studio. I had never been in the studio before. I went in the studio to do a demo. Because I just wanted to, get some gospel artists in the city, some well-known artists and people to, sing my music. That was my only desire. But it ended up going not so good, because you go in the studio, you never been in the studio. I don't know how to sing that great, but I can sing a little bit. I don't know my sound. I have no direction. And so, unless you have a producer or engineer who's going to really give you pointers and really help direct you
Mm-hmm.
in the studio, you end up really just wasting money and time. And so that's what I did. I ended up not really finishing the demo. They took my money. It was a waste of time, and I got really frustrated. And so I paid attention though to what the engineers were doing and what software and what programs they were using to record me and stuff. So what I did was I went and invested, and I got Pro Tools. I got me a Mac. I got a mic. I did all of that. I had a little apartment with an extra room, and I set up my own little home studio, and I started making beats and stuff, and just kind of just getting acclimated to recording. And that's where I really developed my sound. I started just playing around, and I discovered that I may not be the best singer right now, but I have a sound. And so from there I just started really developing my singing voice, and then I started getting opportunities to perform in front of at different churches and stuff. And that's where I was able to really get over my stage fright. I was able to really just become a better singer and performer. And so I'll say for about 8 years or so I was doing gospel.
Well, and so in 2015, you won first place and Maryland Solo Artist of the Year in Bridging the Music, Maryland Solo Artist Competition in Baltimore, Maryland. So
yeah,
that was for gospel music.
Yes, that was. And it was crazy because, number one, when I got into it, I didn't even know it was a competition. I don't even know how I found the venue or whatever, but we have this thing called the Power Plant in Baltimore. It's a really a large area where they have all these performances and different venues and stuff. And so I just thought it was something I was just performing at, and inviting people to come. But then I found out that it was a competition and that I had made it to the finals. And so I'm like, okay, great. So yeah, it was artists from all over Maryland. It was so many artists. I mean, it was the initial competition, and then you had the finals, and people came from all over Maryland. And I could not believe that I won. I was the only gospel artist there. Everybody else there was pretty much hip hop, R&B, pop, pretty much every other genre. Mm-hmm. And I won. It was crazy. Awesome. I was like,
well, and you've won various nominations in regional artist awards through music associations such as DVM Christian Music Awards and Rhythm of Gospel Music Awards.
Yep, definitely. Yep. I actually, just going from church to church and performing and putting out stuff. I put out a mixtape. It's not common that gospel artists will put out mixtapes. That's usually something that rappers do, or like maybe some R&B artists do. But I put out a mixtape that was it wasn't traditional gospel. It was more or less like a hip hop, like a hip hop soul type vibe. I'm not sure if you ever heard of Jay Dilla. Jay Dilla, he's a producer. Okay. So I used a lot of his samples on that mixtape. And so when I put the mixtape out, just a lot of people started getting familiar with who I was as an artist. And I would just put out singles here and there. And so when it came time for these Christian Music Awards and these different organizations to look for artists to nominate, it was easier to get nominated because I kind of started getting my name out there a little bit. So
well, that's good. Like you released in 2015, you released the 8-song EP Life, and then in 2016, your sound kind of became a metamorphosis. Like it kind of changed from the gospel and it went into more smooth and soulful singing. Now, Really Love, which I play on Ellie's Amplified Attic, I love it, is like a reintroduction to you and your proclamation of your newfound focus and vision in the industry.
Yep. In 2000, I actually relocated to Atlanta in 2016. So when I released the EP I released that in 2015. So when I released the EP, I was in a place. I was in a certain space just in life. I was really going through a lot. I wasn't happy, wasn't satisfied with where I was in Baltimore, in any area of my life for the most part, and especially in music. Being a gospel artist, performing in church every week, going to concerts, performing, doing community events, and all of that type of stuff. It felt to me like it was cool at first because it's like, hey, I'm doing ministry, I'm reaching people and stuff, but it got to a point where I started feeling like I was in a box. I felt like I wasn't going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so I moved to Atlanta, but shortly before I moved to Atlanta, I just like, I want to talk about something a little different. I want to talk about what I'm feeling. I want to talk about something outside of, the norm of what I usually talk about with gospel. And so I recorded that Really Love shortly before I moved to Atlanta. We recorded that, and it was an amazing experience. We did everything from the ground up. I worked with a producer by the name of Ramon Shelton. He's from the DMV area. And we just brought in different musicians. We did everything live. And the song features a young lady who's also from the DMV area. Her name is Rochelle Denise. And we got her on the song. And the response was phenomenal. But what I love most about the experience with that, well, number one, it really took me to another place musically. It put me in another mindset musically. It stretched me a little bit, to see that I could do more than what I had been doing. Because I think the EP that I released prior to that was cool, but when I really listened back to it, I wasn't completely satisfied as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
As an artist, I felt like I didn't do my best. I felt like it didn't come out exactly how I wanted it to. So when I put out Really Love, I said, this is it. This is something. I was really satisfied with it. So that metamorphosis, if you will, or transition from doing, I didn't plan to stop doing gospel, but the transition from Baltimore, the transition, into a whole nother environment, a new job, everything's new, and then now having this new song, it just really put me in a mindset of just a fresh start, and wanting to explore something different. And so from there, you get, I did released another single called Right On. We shot a music video for that as well, and that's like an R&B funk type vibe, and so I've just been releasing singles since then.
Cool. Well, you're doing well. In 2018, you won third place in the I Write Atlanta Songwriters Showcase, and you were in the top 20% of songwriters selected to showcase their music to a panel of industry producers and songwriters with iStandard.
Yeah, which is that right there is phenomenal because, like I said earlier, my desire in the beginning was to be a songwriter. Like, I wanted to write for people. I didn't necessarily want to be the artist.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of these years, I've really kind of gotten away. Of course I write my own music, but I kind of got away from the idea of really writing for other artists as the main. I kind of focus more on being the artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I figured, like, okay, well, if I'm the artist, then maybe that'll open the door for me to songwrite. If I get discovered as an artist, maybe I'll be able to write for for other artists and stuff. But, actually not thinking that it could be that it's the other way around. And so I came across this iStandard. I think I found them on Instagram or something, but it's a company, and they go from state to state, and they do like beat battles with producers, and they do competitions and showcases with artists, and there's a lot of industry plug producers and songwriters who are affiliated with this company. And so I just sent my music in, and they liked the music, and I actually was chosen out of a lot of songwriters to come and be a part of the actual showcase. So I went in there, and we had to go into a room and just showcase our music on a hard drive to a whole bunch of producers, and they love the music. And actually, I made it to the finals, and that's actually tomorrow. So I'll be showcasing four more songs is on a bigger platform, to some other producers, and you got Brian Michael Cox. He's a well-known Grammy award-winning songwriter and producer. Tasha Couture, she's Grammy nominated, and Milk and Ziz, and so they're going to be the judges tomorrow, and I think it's going to be great. But outside of just the showcasing and competition, this is my first time being in an environment with nothing but songwriters. And it was so different from the music showcases that I've done here, like artist showcases. You know, it was just so different, and it was really quality, because sometimes you perform at events as an artist or showcases, and it's not necessarily quality. You know, you just you know, you don't know what you're going to get. But this really like opened my eyes, and like I have a better chance, I feel, to reach people through songwriting. Not to say that being an artist isn't, you know, going to work or whatever, because I'm doing that, but just to get to the next level, because everybody, you know, can't write, you know,
exactly.
People can sing, people can be artists, but everybody's not necessarily a writer. So like writing is my niche. So like I'm really glad to be connected, and I've been able to network with these producers. And I look forward to being able to network with more people tomorrow at the showcase.
Yeah, so, and I wish you the best of luck. Like, I mean, hopefully you'll win. And I'm so glad that you got to go back kind of to your roots where you wanted to start out. Now, not saying that you're not a fantastic artist, because I love your music. So, based on everything that you've gone through, Antonio, as an artist, and right from, you know, discovering church and wanting to be a teacher, and then songwriting, and now an artist, and kind of now going a little bit back to songwriting, if you had any advice to give another artist out there, what do you think you would tell them?
I would tell them, and I'll tell myself at the same time, to keep going. You know, it's a journey. You know, and not even just artists and songwriters, but people, you know, entrepreneurs, people who own businesses, or you have any type of dream. It can be hard. Anything easy to get isn't worth having, and I have to remind myself that, because, you know, the people who we see on TV or we hear on the radio, you know, these are people who they've been at it for years and years and years, and it comes with a lot of sacrifice, sleepless nights, tears, frustration, and sometimes you just feel like you're just not going anywhere. You feel like no one's listening to your music. You feel like, you know, you put out an album, you put out a song, and you all excited, and it's like, yes, and, you know, and then it's just like, you put it out, and sometimes it just seems like, okay, did anybody listen to it? Did anybody buy it? You know, but, you know, in the end, I really believe it's worth it. And every time I put out a song, or every time I make a stride I take a step, I see some benefit. I see more people discovering my music. And it could be a slow process for some people, and it could be a fast process. It just depends, you know. But my advice is just to keep going, because I told myself, I said, you know, it's been times where I felt like I just wanted to stop doing it, and I thought about it, and I figured, like, okay, well, what else? You know, what else do I want to do? Because I don't know if I just want to keep doing this. But, you know, I said, the thing that you will do for free, the thing that you enjoy doing, that you love doing, is the thing I feel like you should be doing. So, you know, I can't stop, because, you know, this is this is my life. You know, this is my world. So if you find something that you are passionate about and you love doing, I mean, you have to really enjoy it. You have to really love doing it, because if you don't, you know, it'll be about the numbers. It'll be about if, you know, you're moving quickly, if you're getting discovered quick. So my advice, in short, is just to keep going. Just don't stop.
And that's great advice. That is great advice, because you do. I mean, even me doing what I'm doing, because you mentioned, it's not just people in the, you know, singing industry or whatever. It's anybody that's following their dreams, and it does get hard, but you just got to keep at it. Now, what 2 songs are we going to hear from you?
So today we're going to hear Really Love featuring Rochelle, and we're going to hear People Problems, which is my latest single.
Yes, and they're both on Allie's Amplified Attic. I've had a lot of comments on them, and I absolutely love them. So you can purchase your music pretty much anywhere anybody purchases their music online, as well as your website, which is antoniolong.com. And you can also find all your social media there. And I mean, everybody go and search him and check it out and find out more about him, and then follow him everywhere, because he's on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And Antonio, don't stop what you're doing, because I love your voice. I love your songwriting. People Problems is probably one of my favorites, just because it does talk about, everybody has problems. So I love that song. And if you want to send me any more songs, by all means, anything new happens, you're always welcome to come back on the show. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me again. And I want to tell everybody who's listening also, I have a free song that I put out, which is on my website. It's called Unconditional, and I have some great music coming out this year. I'm going to be putting out a lot of free music for my fans and people who follow me. So I really would love for you guys to be connected, whether it's on Instagram at Antonio Long Show, or if you go to the website, you can sign up for the mailing list, and that's how you get the free music. So if you like what you hear today, please definitely sign up on my website, antoniolong.com. And I thank you again, Allie, for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic Show. Keep checking my website and my YouTube, because you never know what kind of surprise you're going to find. Everybody have a fantastic day. Cheers.
People problems. I've got problems. People problems. 99% of my problems. I got problems, yeah. People problems. I got problems, yeah. I've got problems. I got problems, yeah. People problems. 99% of my problems. I got problems, yeah. People problems. I got problems, yeah. I've got problems. I got problems, yeah. People problems. They say more money, more problems. Well, I say more people, more problems. Cause 99% of my problems come from people that be doing me wrong. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you take my problems and add it to my people problems, it only means I got more problems. That's why sometimes I'd rather be alone. Yeah, hey, cause I ain't gotta worry about my intentions, and I ain't gonna do me dirty. And I ain't gotta worry about what I ain't getting from me, cause baby, I love me. Now I'm sure this might sound crazy, but I know I'm talking truth. Cause people come with baggage, and the bullish that they do only bring me problems. I got problems, yeah. People problems. I got problems, yeah. I've got problems. I got problems, yeah. People problems. 99% of my problems. I got problems, yeah. People problems. I got problems, yeah. I've got problems. I got problems, yeah. People problems. Don't you get on social media and think your problems will get easier. Cause now people are worse than ever. Man, people just be doing the most. Okay, now I can admit that I'm kinda funny when it comes to my business. Sometimes I'm sensitive and be in my feelings. That's because people be doing me wrong, yeah. Hey, but I ain't gotta worry about my intentions, and I ain't gonna do me dirty. This might sound crazy, but I know I'm talking truth. Cause people come with baggage, and the bullish that they do only bring me problems.
I got problems, yeah.
People problems.
I got problems, yeah.
I've got problems.
I got problems, yeah.
People problems.
Hey,
99% of my problems.
I got problems, yeah.
People problems.
I got problems, yeah.
I've got problems.
I got problems, yeah.
People problems. Hey, yeah, I'm looking for the people without all the drama. I'm tired of those fake ones, hating ones, those without no loyalty. Hey, well, I'm looking for the people with good intentions that get my attention. Why don't you make yourself known? I've got problems, people problems. I've got problems, people problems. 99% of my problems.
I got problems, yeah.
People problems.
I got problems, yeah.
I've got problems,
I got problems, yeah.
people problems. 99% of my problems.
I got problems, yeah.
People problems.
I got problems, yeah.
I've got problems,
I got problems, yeah.
people problems.
Hey.
Could this be love? Could this be real love? Could this be love? Could this be real love? Uh-huh.
Could this be love?
Yeah.
Could this be real love?
Real love. Could this be?
Could this be love?
Hey, oh yeah,
Could this be real love? Ooh.
Everybody needs some love.
Everybody needs some love.
I'm talking about that real love.
Yes, they do, I know.
Everybody needs some love.
You know you need it.
I'm talking about that good unconditional love.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter who you are, you know that you need love to turn your frown. Yeah. Oh yeah. If we ain't got love, we ain't got nothing. Oh, 'cause love makes the world go round. But just be careful, 'cause you just might get something that looks like love but ain't quite real. Love is action, it ain't just emotion. Sometimes you gotta forsake how you feel and say, could this be love? Could it be love?
Could this be real love? Ooh. Could this be love? Could this be real love?
How do you know when it's for real is the question? 'Cause I've been hurt when I thought that it was for real. What do you do when you find out it ain't the real thing?
Ain't the real.
Do you give up on love 'cause you can't seem to win? No,
I wanna be open to love, but I don't wanna get hurt again.
Oh no.
People use the words I love you so loosely, but love's in what we do, not what we say.
I guess they gon' have to show and prove, 'cause I ain't getting hurt no more. They to show and prove.
Show me that it's for real.
Until I know that it's for real.
Know it's for real.
Can't you see how much I really love you? Can't you see how much I really love you? Can't you see how much I really love you? Can't you see how much I really love you? Ooh,
How much I really
Can't you see how much I really love you?
see how much I really love you?
this is really love.
How much I really
With all my heart.
see how much I really love you?
Oh yeah, yeah. Gotta know that it's for real.
Real
I got to know that it's for real, yeah.
love.
I gotta know that it's for real, yeah.
This be real love.
Tell me if it's real.
Tell me if it's really love.
Could it be? Could it be?
Are you the prototype?
Real love.
Ooh, yeah. Think this could be love, love, love.
This be real love. This be love. Could it be?
I gotta know that it's for real, yeah.
This be real love.
I gotta know that it's for real, yeah. I gotta know that, gotta know that.
This be real love.
I gotta know that it's for real, yeah.